Oh, I'm in my vagina. I'm just going to say that again. I'm in my vagina. Never gets old. And it happens to be Tuesday, as I'm about midway through this Lunar Center. And it may not be Tuesday when you are watching this. However, I want to offer a secondary tool here, and I will put some supportive information around this here to our patrons. I love working with the planetary days. And when you can couple your lunar center with the day of the week and what planet is ruled by, whew, it's just full on ignition of your emotional enchantress abilities. It's just full reflective power at its maximum as a human. So, what does that mean? Well, before I get into vagina, let's just take a look at Tuesday. Tuesday is Mars Day. And Mars is the planet of action. Mars is also the five energy in tantric numerology. And it's like, the swords that kind of edit and cut the bullshit, the dead weight that isn't needed, and allows you to really execute on those aligned activities that really move the ball forward for you. So it's just a really energizing day if you're tapped into it and you're using it to your advantage. And what it really means is it's simply this: the science of this cosmology is really just very simple. The earth on its axis is rotating and it is aligning in a relationship with Mars on this particular day, where there's a very specific frequency. And as humans, our cells respond to these changes in the electromagnetic field. And we pick these up. And what happens is when our DNA picks up these waveforms, literally these frequencies coming in, and our DNA picks that up, DNA responds to light. So these are light frequencies. We get a certain cascade of hormonal secretions that our intellectual minds then label as, I'm feeling like I want to get shit done. Or in a commotional way, feeling like overwhelmed. But now you know. So even if you're feeling overwhelmed, you're like, okay, here are some things I can do to support myself. And here are the things that I get to do on an ongoing basis on Tuesdays, because I'm going to take advantage of the fact that there is this energy available to me. So you can exalt that. So I can get into more context on the planetary days another time. So now I'm here on Tuesday and I'm in my vagina. And in a sovereign state in the vagina, in the lunar center of the vagina. I just love saying that over and over again because it's such a delicious word. It's always been so taboo, but I find it to be like super central to say it. This is about intimacy, and specifically about feeling like the yearning for intimate connection with other people. And also too, I find this a great time of my cycle to be intimate with myself and really allow a more introspective experience. What am I contemplating right now? What am I personally going on an inner expedition for? And so when spark plugs come up when I'm in my vagina, I really allow myself the space to like lean in and be with it and bear witness to it and really create the observer in me and not the meaning maker. Like, I don't have to have an answer. I'm just here to observe. So, and I'm a scientist. So I really love this. So when I'm in my vagina, I remind myself I just get to be a scientist. I get to collect empirical data. I get to make hypotheses and I get to ask questions. And so was cool. Today, what came up for me was I had a really great intimate conversation with a dear friend of mine, and we had been trying to schedule some time together for a while. And I had a call with her, and we just get to go right to those intimate spaces. And it was great to connect. And one of the things that we were sharing was how we tend to always focus on what we need to work on. And Mars Day is a funny day because it's all about execution. We were talking about what we need to work on within ourselves. Like, oh, she was saying, like, I still have a long ways to go, but I noticed that I'm less of a people pleaser and I'm working hard toward not being that. And what I've been dancing with lately and what I'm offering here as a great tool to really come into the sovereignty of the vagina, because when you're in your sovereign state, you are a true visionary. And then you can take aligned action on the visionary that is you, rather than feeling in a commotional state a sense of hopelessness. I feel hopeless when I'm self-critical. And to me, again, the spark plug, my ongoing spark plug, is always about criticism. And that criticism could be the harshest when it's self-criticism. So I, in my vagina, noticed how I was like, wow, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed today. There's so much coming through. And I'm noticing that I'm criticizing myself for feeling disorganized and starting to go down. And I was like, no, actually, I get to make some intimate connections today, and I get to lean into the intimate connection I have with myself. And so the tool that I use and have been playing with a lot lately, but now in the past 3 days, and now in my vagina on a Tuesday, leaning into this very simple question, which I'll offer to you as a great tool to use in this Lunar Center. Can you accept how awesome you are? And then literally write down 100, yes, 100, 100 strengths you have. Now, I've worked this in the past many times, and it never ceases to amaze me that once I get the pen going, how alchemical it becomes, and just starting to tear up and starting to feel, even where I feel like I'm an imposter, like, do I really believe that I have this strength? Can I really accept this strength? And starting to go sideways on it, and then being okay with that too. And saying, well, I'm working on it. I'm getting better every day at believing this in myself. On this spiritual journey, it has been my direct experience that on my path, the first kind of experience of upliftment or enlightenment for me was when I was able to look at those parts of myself that I was ashamed of or felt guilty about, and start to kind of accept them as parts of who I am. And now moving past that into a more intimate connection with my own enlightenment and with my own visionary power is, can I apply that to my strengths? Right? It's an interesting question. Like, can you accept how awesome you are? Because most of us are really inverted around that. And then if you are like, ooh, I'm noticing it, well, then the second exercise is write down 100 strengths and contemplate and create intimacy with this list and start to imbibe the feelings that you're generating from this, and just be in the observer seat. What comes up for you? So that's really one way to move into a sovereign state. And I offer you again just one little snippet on how a planetary day can affect your lunar center and vice versa. But this lunar center, it's a special time. It really is. It's a special time to be the visionary. And one other tool I will drop into the comments here is I would offer a block of time to just be creative, whatever that looks like for you. So you've got this list of 100 strengths. And those strengths are likely going to be in alignment with creative outlet. So use that, block out some creative time just to be in this kind of visionary and expansive space and uplift yourself out of perhaps what could be the hopelessness of I'm feeling insecure. And I offer a little nutritional guide around that because to me, when you're blocking off some creative time, it's like running a marathon. Your brain requires a certain amount of glucose in order to be creatively expansive. But also, this lunar center is really boosting your human growth hormone, which is fascinating because also on Tuesday, this is also about human growth hormone and testosterone. So it's really cool. But when you boost your human growth hormone, you feel authoritative, but you feel a sense of confidence. You feel a sense of inner authority and you feel that visionary experience. It's about growth, it's about expansion. So I offer some nutrition to boost that human growth hormone, and maybe I'll even drop in a little workout. Well, if you're seeing this, then you're already going to see in the comments what I dropped in. But it's so quantum. I'm doing this, and you're seeing it another time. And it's like time space continuum, and it's all good. That's my visionary. So feel into this. It's a time to be contemplative. It's a time to witness yourself as the curious scientist, um, and just be creative. And can you accept how awesome you are in your vagina? So much love.